This is the book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 17. But he, knowing their thoughts, said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house falleth. Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 17, is that there's reports coming in regarding the sailors' discontent, low morale on the USS Gerald Ford. All right, that's now docked at the statehood of the JJ's port. I think it's Haifa. You know, let me just double check. Fact check. U.S. Gerald Ford located at Haifa. Right. Yeah, as of late, 2026 reports indicate the USS Gerald R. Ford is either en route or has arrived at the port of Haifa, statehood of the JJs, to reinforce the U.S. military presence in the Middle East. No, to protect or make an attempt to protect, all right, the statehood of the JJ, because it's about to be rocked by Iranian ballistic missiles, okay? This is the reason why in the so-called negotiation, all right, which is America just biding their time so they get their pieces in position, all right? Not only are they saying that Iran needs to stop their nuclear enrichment, but now Iran needs to put a cap and stop making ballistic missiles. All right, that's not what they said last year. Last year, they didn't say anything about Iran's ballistic missiles because you want to know why? All right, they didn't know how strong Iran was, the capabilities Iran had, and they saw it in that 12-day war. Okay, but that's pride. Pride goeth before destruction. You know what? That's the pride of America, Babylon the Great. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, haughty spirit before a fall. Right, not just Babylon the Great of America, also the statehood of the JJs, the Amalekites. All right, they got their ass spanked in that 12-day war. All right, that's just a fact. Because in the negotiations, all right, it's not just the nuclear enrichment they want to stop. Now they want to stop the ballistic missiles, as well as Iran wanting to stop Iran from funding the Houthis, Hamas, and Hezbollah. Okay, all right. However, all right, what we're seeing is division amongst the U.S. sellers. There's division amongst the ranks, okay? Satan's house is divided, all right? And this proves that America, all right, is going down. So, as it says right here, as of February 2026, the USS Gerald R. Ford is facing significant crew discontent and low morale due to an extended record-setting deployment near the Middle East and ongoing technical failures, right? Because in the Navy, all right, their deployment is supposed to be 6 months. That's it, all right? And this particular aircraft carrier has been out at sea for 8 months plus, and they've been told that they're going to be out there to at least 11 months. So these sailors have not been home, have not seen their wife, or their, LGBTQT personnel, because you know about the Navy. A lot of those individuals that go into the Navy, there's an old saying, all right, but yeah, so they're losing their minds, all right, because being stuck at sea for a period of time, all right, you will lose your marbles. So what's happening is there's discontent, there's low morale, all right, and of course the ongoing technical failures, including the chronic sewage system issues, which I'm going to play a short clip because reports are coming in that this was done deliberately, okay? Deliberately, this was done, all right? So there is a mutiny, okay? There and I'm gonna play that clip. So let's read this one more time. Luke chapter 11, verse 17. But he, knowing their thoughts, said unto them, all right, this is Yahushua, all right, speaking to the Pharisees, all right, and Sadducees that were coming against him, all right? And this ain't nothing new, all right? When your own people come against you, that's it. House divided, all right? And America is divided, okay, on all levels, even in the military. Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house falleth. 18. If Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? Because ye say that I cast out devils through Beelzebub, right? Beelzebub, right? And Yahushua has performed miracles, okay? Healing the sick, all right? Raising the dead, healing the blind. And you had these wicked, okay, Pharisees, okay, that were saying that, oh, he's doing it in the name of Beelzebub, all right? Just show you how wicked they are, okay? And that's Jake, that's our people, Here it is, doing miracles, healing, all right? The sick, raising the dead, and you got wicked Pharisees, all right? All right, talking shit, all right, because the people were drawn to the miracles, and the people saw the power of Yahushua, all right? And these Pharisees didn't want to lose their position. They didn't want to lose their status. And you see that today. You got certain individuals, all right, amongst these Israelite groups, these pseudo-Hebrew Israelites, all right, that don't want to be don't want to lose their power, okay? They don't like, all right, someone else outshining them, all right? And then you see all types of madness. Look at Genesis, for example, okay? Look at these individuals, all right? They turn it on each other. But yeah, that's a house divided. So now I want to play this because it's getting spicy, man. All right, and I'm looking at this as more just confirmation that America is about to be exposed as not as strong as it says to be. All right, the whole world is watching. The whole world, man. So let's play.
There's a major speed bump in the Iran war that the U.S., the Trump administration.
By the way, Larry Johnson is this individual right here is a former CIA, okay? What's it called? Employee, all right? He was in the CIA for many years, all right? And you're having a lot of former CIA whistleblowers, all right, exposing America. Hey, their own tongue shall fall upon themselves, all right? So let's play this because they're talking about this U.S. Gerald Ford, okay? And these aircraft carriers are just sitting ducks, all right? Iran has hypersonic missiles. How the fuck are you going to stop that, all right, on these aircraft carriers? I'm at the point that these aircraft carriers are sacrificed. They're going to sacrifice this to give the excuse why America needs to go, all right, all out on Iran. Something may happen. Maybe a false flag. We'll see. We'll see what the Lord wants. Got the blood moon coming. Got the blood moon. March 3rd, 2026. A total lunar eclipse. All right. We'll see what happens on that day. But let's play this.
Is trying to wage that you have 4,600 on board who have been on board now nearly a year. And since that time, there have been massive sewage problems that have only just now been reported by the Wall Street Journal. But this comes amid massive, just absolutely, I think, bombshell reports that sailors themselves, there were some reports that they were stuffing T-shirts in the toilets, some rumors maybe of a passive mutiny among some of them who...
You see that? Stuffing T-shirts in the toilet system, all right? That sounds like division. That sounds like, all right, they don't want to fight. Oh, wait, hold on. We got to bring this. Hey, these scriptures are coming out more and more, okay? Foreborn to fight, all right? And I've been saying this. When you see fracture within the military, your kingdom is done. And that's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for stuff like this. The military has to be divided. Foreborn, all right? Foreborn, excuse me, I'm excited to fight. I've been saying it. When you see division in the military, all right, kiss your kingdom goodbye. And you Edomites, you so-called white people, here in America, your military, all right, is being exposed. It's not as strong as they claim to be, and there's division going on, okay? All right? Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 30. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They remain in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. Yeah. All right? These soldiers today are effeminate, man. All right? Look what raised them. Okay? Look what you had, all right, the Obama administration passing LGBTQ, all right, laws and all this shit. Okay? It just that LGBTQ effeminized, okay, a lot of men. Okay? So yeah. And this is why the Lord was just biding time. Wait and see, the Lord is so strategic. All right? He didn't want, all right, this war with Iran to pop off, all right, until the mindset of the American military got weak and soft, all right? And now it's the time. Now it's the time, man. Okay? They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. Exactly. Okay? So, this American military is becoming weak, soft, effeminate. They became as women. All right, some of them want to be women. All right, so we in these times. Okay, it's getting spicy. This is the will of the Lord again. Okay, we're giving it to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is doing this. This is, all right, who's setting this all up for America to be judged. Okay? And by the way, just because the war with Iran and America kicks off, along with them JJs, doesn't mean we're out of here. We still need the RFID chip, the mark of the beast, to be in play, meaning mandatory. Okay? All right? So, because you're going to have a lot of these pseudo-Hebrew Israelites. Oh, we're in World War III. That's it. We're getting up out of here. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Not yet. RFID chip, the mark of the beast, has to be made mandatory. Okay? So let's continue on.
Want to not be at sea anymore. They were back in the Caribbean.
Start back. It's getting spicy.
On board now nearly a year. And since that time, there have been massive sewage problems that have only just now been reported by the Wall Street Journal. But this comes amid massive, just absolutely, I think, bombshell reports that sailors themselves, there were some reports that they were stuffing T-shirts in the toilets, some rumors maybe of a passive mutiny among some of them who want to not be at sea anymore. They were in the Caribbean, then they had to travel all the way to the Middle East. I think they docked at Crete recently in order to get a break and get some working toilets. So, Larry, let's talk about this because it comes amid reports now that there are major frustrations with this war pushed by the Trump administration. The Pentagon is warning it's not a good idea. Now you have thousands of sailors on this aircraft.
And the Pentagon is saving face, all right? That's why there's, what's his name? Kane is like, saying, hey, we may not be ready, all right? Even though Trump's going to pull the trigger so that when there's blowback, all right, the Pentagon saying, well, we did say we weren't ready, okay? Even though they want to get into this war, okay, because they need to keep the economy, because the economy's dying. So when, like Gerald say, when all else fails, they send you to war, all right, to jumpstart this economy, okay? And they know they're going to be U.S. casualties, all right? But it's that pride, man, that pride, okay? That pride have deceived these elites, man, okay? And Donald Trump is being shown as a cruel lord. Let me get that. A cruel lord, man. Because he don't even give a damn about his soldiers' welfare, okay? Their morale. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 4. And the Egyptians, who are the modern day Egyptians? The so-called white people. Esau, Edom. Will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them. Right. All right. Look how he's treating the military. Okay. The military is, okay, has a low morale. Scriptures talk about a morale, okay, a broken spirit, right? Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. NLT version. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit saps a person's strength. Right, and the U.S. Navy personnel on that Gerald Ford, their strength is sapped. All right, they've been out at sea, okay, almost a year. Okay, Donald Trump saying no, you know, all right, fuck going home. You need to go to the Middle East and protect those JJs, those 1948, those small hats. All right, and you think a lot of them Navy sailors want to protect them JJs? All right, they got social media too. You don't think they're watching the red pill personnel? Okay, people like Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is fucking in the forefront. All right, and it's fucking with the psyche of the U.S. Navy. Like, yeah, why the fuck are we protecting these assholes? Yeah, it's getting spicy, man. Why the fuck is Donald Trump, all right, constantly have to protect these JJs? Yeah, all right, okay. And then you got Donald Trump who don't give a fuck. That's why a division among the ranks is happening. This is something I've been talking about. We gotta see the military divided. There has to be fracture in the military. All right. So let's Did I finish that? Yeah, yep. All right, yep, I finished that scripture. So let's go back.
Carrier that are essentially swimming in their own poop.
Well, you know, the metaphor of saying that somebody's full of shit, well, in this case, they actually are, you know, or they're filling up with shit on board the ship. Reportedly, they're standing in line for 45 minutes to relieve themselves.
45 fucking minutes? I'll be pissed off too. Yeah, this shit is cooked, man. Orange shit. Yeah, look at that. All right. I think you mean U.S. warship stinks, but damn, bro, 45 minutes to relieve yourself. Okay? Yeah, we're in these times, man. All right? The prophecies are speaking. Habakkuk, chapter 2. Though it tarry, wait for it. It will surely come, will not tarry. And all you clowns that fell out the truth because of some fucking excuse, all right? Hey, the Lord's gunning for y'all because you know this truth and you took your hand off the plow. Okay?
Yeah, that'd make me a tad grumpy. And so this is to expect them to operate under combat conditions and that kind of, when they're faced with that kind of physical discomfort. Look, this deployment, massive deployment of combat air assets, accompanied by what I'll call is a paltry deployment of naval assets. And let's not kid ourselves. When we conducted Operation Rough Rider a year ago in March in Yemen in the Red Sea, we had 2 aircraft carriers there with 5 other support ships.
Right, and that's when the Houthis were putting in that work on those U.S. aircraft carriers, okay, in the Red Sea. All right, Operation Rough Rider was a fucking failure. So why the U.S. aircrafts out there again? I'm speaking as man. We're gonna see. Is the U.S. gonna use those U.S. aircraft carriers just like in the Gulf of Tonkin? All right. As when I'm talking about Gulf of Tonkin, I'm talking about Vietnam. How did America get into the Vietnam War? All right, by the Gulf of Tonkin incident. All right, 2 naval ships got destroyed. There's conspiracies behind it. Some Vietnam saying that no, we never did that. All right, some saying that it was a false flag. Yeah, okay, because again, all right, we're in a sophisticated war front or warfare, where even the Houthis have missile capabilities to smack, okay, a fucking huge ship that doesn't move fast. All right. Again, it's a sitting duck. It's just a duck that sits in a tub, okay? And this is why, man. This shit's getting spicy. All right, so he's making a point, okay?
Until the Gerald Ford was limping into the Mediterranean, you only had 1 aircraft carrier with 3 support ships, and it was staying 1,000 miles offshore because it was afraid of getting blown up. We actually learned why all of this was being done yesterday, or from the day before, in that interview that Steve Witkoff did with Laura Trump on Fox News, in which he was saying, God, why aren't these Iranians capitulating? We've shown up with all this military force. It turns out there was no plan for attack. And
Man, it reminds me of scripture. Has thou become weak as thee? Yo, has thou become weak as thee? The Iranians are not scared. They got the weapons thanks to Russia and China, and they're gonna put in that work. Wait, where is it at, man? I think it's Isaiah 14. Yeah, this is getting spicy. Yup, it's getting. Hey, we in these times. All right. All y'all that fell out the truth, all y'all that was scoffing at GMS, all right, slandering us, bearing false witness, all right. Yeah, man, the Lord's gonna judge, man. Yeah, this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead. Wait, hold on. Let's bring it up. Okay. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. And Lord willing, it's Donald Trump, the final king of Babylon. And say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Right. This is clearly talking about America, Babylon the Great, that golden city. Okay. 5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Right. And he's breaking your staff. Okay. He's putting you in a position that it's going to show the whole world that you're not as who you say you are. Okay. Your pride hath deceived your ass. Okay. 6. He who smote the people in wrath will continue a stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered. Right. You know, for decades, you know, whether it be your Air Force or whether it be the jackals, the CIA, you've been fucking raising nothing but hell on these other nations. All right. But guess what? The Lord, all right, made sure, as the scriptures say, let the weak say I'm strong, that they have the technology and the backing, these smaller nations, by these bigger nations like Russia and China, to be a contender. And we're about to see Iran, all right, come up, all right, bring out some arsenal, all right, that you're going to have to deal with. Okay. And that's why they're not capitulating. You know, that fucking piece of shit, JJ, special envoy, what the fuck is his name? Steve Witkoff, that JJ. You notice how you have JJs running the foreign, the so-called diplomacy, knowing fully well that these JJs are pro statehood of the JJ first, and Iran knows this. That's why that whole diplomacy was bullshit. It's just a fucking to buy time, man. Okay. Iran knows this shit, and they're playing along. They're playing games. You know, we're having diplomatic diplomacy, even though they're getting ready, man. But jumping down to the point, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 9. Hell from beneath thee is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. Right? Hell represents the grave. All right? Death is coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth, and have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nation. Check this out in the NLT version. Okay? Right here. Well, actually, the NIV. No, the NLT version. In the place of the dead, there's excitement over your arrival. The spirits of world leaders and mighty kings long dead stand up to see you. Okay, and this goes to show you these are the same spirits coming back. All right. Okay, and they're waiting to get their pound of flesh. 10. All they that shall speak and say unto thee. All right, this also shows you reincarnation. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 10. All they, because they are the same spirits coming back, right? Isaiah chapter 14, verse 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Right. Okay, and this is proof, man. This U.S. Navy Gerald Ford, the shitty Gerald Ford, okay, is proof that America's weak, okay? And again, America's been used the aircraft carrier against the Houthis, Operation Rough Rider, and they failed, okay? And this is what he was talking about, former CIA employee.
Now, you know, I missed the signal. I should have talked about it earlier, but you're not going to have an attack on Iran until you start seeing the embassies getting rid of non-essential personnel and or closing. We've only seen that in Lebanon right now, but Baghdad's still intact. Riyadh in Saudi Arabia.
For now, for now. Okay, anything could change any day. Let's see what this State of the Union, which I'm gonna watch, so I'm doing a lesson now, so I can watch it and then give my commentary on it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem El Shai. Boom, 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 boom. How many U.S. embassies in the Middle East? You have to say it like this in order to get some answers. Have been told to evacuate. All right, so far, Beirut, Lebanon. Okay, non-essential diplomats and families were ordered to leave with around 32. Okay. And all right, so we have to see Iraq, Bahrain, and Kuwait. All right, but there's reports of military personnel leaving particular bases all throughout the Middle East. All right, because they know Iran has the weapons, the ballistic missiles. That's part of the negotiations. You have to get rid of your ballistic missiles, which proved that once again Iran was spanking their ass. Okay. Last year. It's a fact. Okay. The Persians were putting in that work. Okay. American media propaganda is failing miserably because all you got to do is look at what is it they're asking Iran. Wait a minute, ballistic missiles? You didn't ask that last year. All you were focused on is nuclear enrichment. Okay. You didn't talk about telling Iran. You didn't tell Iran, hey, stop funding the Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas. You didn't say that last year. Now all of a sudden they got it. That's part of the negotiations. They have to capitulate and do that. No. So Iran's not going to self-suicide. You're out of your fucking mind. So anyway, let's keep playing. So there's a little bit more, and then we'll close out.
Arabia, in Qatar, in Doha, in Dubai, the United Arab, none of those have been drawn down. So there's not an attack imminent yet. The second thing is the lack of NOTAMs, what are called notices for air missions. That's not happening. So this was really intended as a show of force to try to coerce the Iranians into giving up, because the United States has been believing its own lies about what the conditions are in Iran. They really believed that the government was very fragile, could be easily pushed over, knocked over. And that's because they were relying upon information that's being generated from a public opinion poll that was paid for by the U.S. government with CIA backing.
Yep, he's a former CIA, so he knows. He knows. That's why, you have to always scrutinize what America's pushing out. All right, regarding data, statistics, because it's always one-sided. All right, but I want to bring this out because this is proof that these Edomites, all right, are very prideful. All right, and their pride have deceived them. So Obadiah, Edom will be humbled. Yep. It's only one chapter, but it's a powerful chapter. All right, and you plantation Christians never want to go into this chapter. All right, Vocab Malone's another one. All right, somehow, all right. This chapter just gets skipped over by all you plantation Christians, okay? Even though it's in the Bible, all right? Obadiah is an Israelite, by the way. The vision of Obadiah does say it the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Right, and these heathens are going to be coming against you, like Iran, okay? China, North Korea. All right. 2, behold, I made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Right. Small meaning insignificant. Okay. And you are despised. Okay. It's being shown the whole world is sick of America's and them JJs too. Let's not forget the JJs, the 1940 Smoyats, Amalek. All right, they're sick of them. All right, and they know that America, is being governed and ran by these JJs. Okay. All right, Donald Trump, is just listening to what the JJs want. If you look at who, funded Donald Trump's campaign, it was made up of the JJs. Okay, so that's who he's listening to. All right, those were his donors. Okay, he's not listening to anybody else. So you Americans that MAGA that voted for him, you're in the back burner. Okay. 3. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, and that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground right? And that's the pride of these Edomites. Okay, it deceived them. All right, they think that because of their technology, because they're able to do things in the air, that no one can bring them down. All right, but that's to your own demise. All right. 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. Okay, it's clearly talking about America. All right. When they supposedly landed on the moon, which was a lie, which is a bold-faced lie, they said the eagle landed. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, right, which is little putting your satellites in the space. Your space station, that you have to share, okay, with Russia, which is interesting. All right, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord, right? And that since you went up into space, America's been crumbling, and we're at the point where the Lord's about to strip you of everything. That's why in verse 5 it says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? NLT version. The Lord is stripping y'all, man. If thieves came at night and robbed you, what a disaster awaits you. They will not take everything. Those who harvest grapes always leave a few for the poor, but your enemies will wipe you out completely, right? And that's what's coming, okay? And this is it, man. This is the big one. Everything is moving. All that military vehicles and aircrafts, okay, and all these weapons, all right. This is the biggest staging since the Iraq War of 2003. All right, it's going down. All right, it's just a matter of when. All right, could be on the blood moon, could be this weekend. Who knows? Is of the Lord. The Lord is the one. All right, that's setting it up, and he'll put the spirit on these devils. All right, to make it happen, because the Lord is the one that ruleth in the kingdom of men. Let me get that scripture. Kingdom of men. All right, this proves that nobody has free will. Daniel chapter 4 verse 17. The matter is by decree of the watchers. Okay, who are the watchers? All right, the prophets. Okay, and the man by the word of the holy ones. Okay, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whosoever he will, and set it up over it the base of men. Right. The Lord made sure that even Esau will have a time to rule. And now his time is up. Okay. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob's the beginning of it that followeth. Let me just play a little bit more, and then we'll close out.
Okay. So we paint a lie to ourselves, and then we believe our own lies. But the reality is otherwise. So until we've moved all these air assets, but here's the other thing I don't get. And we've got 30% of the entire fleet of F-35s that are in the Air Force inventory. There are, about 21 squadrons. 7 of those squadrons have been deployed. They're deployed at Muwafaq Salti Air Base in Jordan and at Prince Sultan in Saudi Arabia. Do you know offhand what the distance is from Prince Sultan Airport to Tehran? That's 900 miles. Do you know what the combat radius of the F-35 is? The F-30 combat radius means how far out can you fly before you have to turn around and come back? And the answer to that is 300 miles. 300 miles out, 300 miles back. 600-mile combat radius. I'm not great at math, But if I'm at Prince Sultan and I'm going to bomb Tehran and it's 900 miles away and my plane can only go 300 miles in that direction, how the hell do I go the other 600 miles? It doesn't make sense.
So basically, what he's saying is that why are those planes out there? Okay, why are those warplanes out there if it doesn't make any sense? All right, for an attack. All right, because of the distance. All right, is it a pump fake, or is America expecting air combat, in those areas? All right, because of Iran's gonna bring the Iran and the Arabs, the dragons of Arabia, are gonna bring the war front, all right, closer to their airport. Because I mean, if you're a high ranking officer, you should know about the distance. All right, 600 miles. All right, that's it. So what the fuck are they doing out there? So it goes to show you, either Esau is just a fucking well, then again, he is a fucking idiot. All right, he's losing his shit. All right, or there's more to it. Okay, because yeah, it doesn't make any logical sense just in terms of mathematics. But hey, we in these times, we'll see what the Lord has set up. Again, we're giving it to the Lord, and we're here just showing you the will of the Lord, because this is the will of the Lord. Let the Lord work. The scriptures talk about in the book of Psalms. See if it comes up. Oh, that's not what I wanted, but it's a. Let thy work, yeah, Psalm 90, verse 16. Let thy work appear unto thy servants and thy glory unto thy children. Right. It's a good one because, hey, the Lord is working and he's showing it to us. Okay, we're his servants. Let us, your servants, see your work again. Let our children see your glory. Right, and that's it. Hey, that's a good one. Yeah, Psalm 90 and 16. There's another one that I'm thinking of, but hey, this is good too. All right. 17. Let the beauty of the Lord Yahweh, our power, be upon us, and establish thou the work of our hands upon us. Yea, the work of our hands establish thou it. Right. So yeah, man. Hey, we're giving it to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. He's putting a spirit on us to bring out his word, to let you know this is the will of the Lord. And yeah, it's going down. So once again, let's recap. You got division amongst the ranks. All right. Division on a naval ship. All right. They putting fucking t-shirts in the toilet, sabotaging it so they can go home. That's obviously what that means. All right. You have what's it called? So you have that. Okay. Then you have the pride of Esau, where he's not literally counting the cost with this warplane mathematics situation with his in terms of striking. So hey, we're in these times where the Lord is bringing down these devils. Their pride have deceived them. Pride goeth before destruction, haughty spirit before a fall. Their house is divided. It's only a matter of time, all right, where the everything starts moving fast, and it is moving fast. Like the apostle elders say, if you miss a day, you miss a lot. And with that, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And citation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep enduring, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostles, elders. Romans out here. To the few sisters that are watching, keep studying. When you pray, pray with your head covered. Shalom. You already know. On to the next one. As the apostle elders always say, Shalom.